Hello viewers, subscribers, welcome once again my new screencast. Today I try to continue my previous screencast number 2.1 up to 2.7 already released. This screencast is already recorded, and then I try to continue today the lot of questions from the viewers and subscriber. The questions from the viewer subscriber, they try to get the properly how the different types of layerings. I mean, the how can you group layers based on the leaflet JavaScript APIs, and also and then how then you can control the maps for the overview maps, and how can you control the scales of the maps, and then that's why, and that some other viewers and subscribers asking me to give it a detailed discussion again, how they start the project structure. I mean, how they can start install the node Node.js, how can they install Angular CLI, and how they can install the TypeScript, and then how and then discuss the structure of the projects. I did the detailed discussion for those things in my last screencast, but some beginners, they need more clear definition how it works. That's why I'm trying to continue some part of the theoretically, and then I will start the developments for the overlayers, layer groupings, and then also the overview maps. How can you do these things? And also there is some questions about the integration between the GeoServer services, WMS, WFS, or WCS services, and with the client side. I mean, the front end communication. That means in the front end, if you implement the front end in Angular or React, doesn't matter what front end you are, and then they asking me how the communication has done, and how the service call is done. Then I will show you detail how it is done for the questions. But you can follow the last screencast from 2.0 to 2.8 is already is available in my channels. You can go to the channels and get the list, the playlist from there. Let's have a visit in my channels. So this is my channel. You can see that the application is running. I will show you the later this part. And this is another application based on the same functionalities. That's I did the screencast number 7.0 up to this the 7.3 or 4 in the available in my channels. If I go to my YouTube channels, you can go the UVSoftGroup, and then you can see the playlist. I believe this is the playlist. You can see the lot of the screencasts that what I am now continuing this playlist. So you can see get the Angular and types and Node.js, Angular and leaflet or JavaScript and GeoServer and web GIS web maps, and also this is another playlist for the open layers. That means that's the questions that I said the last screencast, that the viewers asking me how can, if the someone who has experience about the open layers, not the leaflets, and that's why I'm trying to make it like same functionalities with open layers. That's why this is the questions. I am now continuing the further implementation for leaflet based implementations, and then later I will continue the open layer based implementations. That's I mean. So let's have a overlook the how the application at the moment look like. So application, you have the blank you see the localhost 4405. This is the application is running 4405. That's I said here in the applications. You can see the configuration file, and you see the application ng server, ng port, and foxy.config.n foxy. This is the communication between the foxy REST APIs call. I will show you detail later in the sections when the all part is done. Then how can you complete it's the foxy.json setup, the REST communication sections. This is already there. some part of the communication, but I didn't finish it yet for the communications, and then implement the services and call the services into the your Angular components. That's I will show you later. This is one of the questions from some viewers and subscribers saying, what are the starting point for this application? Basically, this is the starting. The index.html file is the starting points when the application is compiled or started, ng sharp or npm start. Then you can get reading the first index.html file and go to the main JavaScript files. I mean, this is the files of JavaScript files. Main.js JavaScript file. This is the application. So that means that when the compiler come to the play, then it's compiled the index.html as a view, and then it is like in Java and the Java or C+ or any programming language, the program will be started with the main methods. So that means the compiler is look for the main.ts files and then looking for the view part index.html file. But in the Angular project structure, you see that there's a default folder structure like app.component.html and then app.html css and then app components.ts files and then app.modules files. That's so I already discussed everything is in my last screencast number 2.1 to 2.8. Just close look that one, then you can get a really clear overview. So today I am really new development part. How can you add different types of layers into your maps, and then the layers means that your vector layers, your image layers, and videos layers, and even though the layers from the GeoServer, WMS and WFS or WCS services. That's I'm trying to continue the development today. Let's go back to the presentation part, into the presentations. So this is the last the screencast. We already talked about that one detail, and this is the GeoServer communications. I already talked about detail this one. Just follow the previous screencast, and this is the installation process. That's the view. A lot of viewers asking me, the beginners, you need to install the very first the Node.js and then Angular CLI, and then you need to start the new projects like Angular leaflets, and then you can go back to your root directory where the Angular CLI project is created, and then you have to install the necessary leaflet JavaScript library, and then it's really very easy. And then you have the project structure like that I explained here, your application and resource, and then all the components and all the project structure, you get it properly. Just follow the previous screencast. And this is the really standard project structure that I said. We have a E2E testing, and then node modules, and then node with all dependencies there, and SRC folders, and then all the default. This is the default project structure when you Angular CLI create the projects, and you get the project structure and import this project structure into the Visual Studio Code, and then you can get your project structure and run the projects and check it everything work properly, and then you start the development. So this is, you see that the project structure is a little bit more detailed in how can you import the project structure file, import and look for your directory, and then it works automatically. So you see the project structure like I structure it like this: different components, services, models, and interfaces. Like as a professional way, how can you structure the Angular projects? That's I already discussed in the previous screencast. Just follow that one. So today, this is the most important part I try to discuss, and this is the most professional task that you need to do as a geoinformatics or geo developer or geo engineer, geo software engineers or developers. Then you have to be, if really you have to follow this structure. So overlay, that's everybody